I've got it open. The stream appears to be live, but it's currently just the like fighter
How about now?
screen. Yeah, it switched over to Tabletop Simulator.
All right. Okay. Whew. Okay. Sorry about that.
It says get ready, and then he's gonna reading out Spike.
Cmeshai was calling lethal in Discord chat a moment ago, so presumably he sees a checkmate play.
Interesting. Something that can threaten 7-speed Spike at.
At 11 power? What's
Yeah.
what's dealing 11?
Okay, he's assaulting
Okay, that's
into
not
it.
lethal. So yeah, they're gonna end up at range 1. They have to have a follow-up, but it won't take much to finish this off. They can reading cross with a grasper across their own, and then it will be a checkmate.
Right. Or doesn't. Oh, never mind. Neutralizer only has 6 speed. Okay.
Okay, so they sustain tactical training. The reading drops. The second copy of assault drops. They're at range 1. Neutralizer is what they spent force for. They have advantage. So now they play the second reading, presumably.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Fall across. Spin a force to move 1. And then play straight fire. Yeah, that's lethal.
Yep, that's it.
Alright.
Okay. Well, that is. I was going to give game 1 over here to Ishai. Really close, though.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
What do you think the chances that we see Jade going with a run back with Luciya?
Oh, fairly likely. Luciya is probably his strongest character in the set. So, like, I pretty much expected that we were going to see one Luciya win and one Renea win, because those are their respective champions.
Right.
It's the third game. That'll be most interesting to determine.
Yeah.
Although if Ishai beats Luciya twice in a row, then that will give him the championship. So we can't rule that
That'd be
out.
a little bit anticlimactic, though, right?
It'd be impressive. It'd be impressive.
Those words mean the same thing in this context.
I mean, you've got to respect the skill. Like, these are not easy characters to pilot. Renea in particular, I'm terrible at, but Renea seems uniquely suited to the Taxi meta playstyles.
Wait, isn't Ishai's Geoffrey supposed to be fairly terrifying?
No idea. I know his Renea has a strong reputation. Geoffrey in general has a reputation as being unpopular to fight against because of his control effects. So, but I don't know of any. Well, actually, no. I know of one specific Geoffrey. Not two. Now I think about it. Enderl and Gaboxel both have reputations as having very strong Geoffreys, or maybe Jeffreys. Who can say?
I think Geoffrey sounds more pompous and therefore is canonically correct.
Alright, we are getting set up for the next match.
I cannot see Twitch.
Can folks on Twitch see? They should be on a.
Should be on a title screen, yeah. Sinfulness saying Geoffrey is terrifying from personal experience.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's currently on the title screen. It's not on tabletop, but it's live. Oh, he's just saying you can't see what they're saying about. Okay, he's just trying to get, he's just trying to get pat backs. Isha, you have a whole set left to finish, man.
So apparently Ishai wants to hear that people are impressed.
Clap your hands if you're impressed for Isha.
Hmm. Righto.
Well, now I'm cheering for Jay. I know I've got to be impartial as a commentator, but I'm throwing that out the window, man.
Well, that's alright. There's two of us. So that means I have to cheer for Ishai.
Okay, Isha say he's playing Luciya. He says if you're a Chad, you'll play your Luciya into my calling for the mirror.
Wait,
wow.
what's a Chad?
I think you just misspelled chat.
Fair enough. Oh, apparently we have Ishai's girlfriend in chat.
Well, hey.
That's right. I remember you. I'm sorry. I didn't recognize your name right away for some reason. I'm not used to looking at Twitch names, I guess. Even though it's literally the same as your Discord name. Hi, Sinfulness. Good to see you.
Oh, hello. Oh, Jay going Remiliss here. Even after the call shot of Luciya.
Alright. Well, I believe Jay chose this character first anyway. So. Alright. Let me update the combatants.
Alright. Isha saying they'll be right back.
Well, that gives me time to update the display.
Perfect.
I'm surprised that Jay isn't going for Luciya a second time.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when you lose the character, you lose confidence with them too, but...
I would be surprised if that was the case here.
Yeah.
I think it's likelier that he just doesn't want to play the mirror because mirrors tend to not be super interesting, at least in my opinion. They come down a lot more to just deck order, which is another way of saying randomness, which, you know, normally is a thing that's very well mitigated by Exceed's system, but in mirror matches, it's exacerbated rather than mitigated. Alright, there we go. Alright, Luciya Remiliss. Boy, have I played this matchup a few times.
You probably have some pretty strong thoughts on it, then.
It's terrifying, and to be honest, it's terrifying mostly for Remiliss. I favor Luciya here.
Right, I was about to ask, because Remiliss mostly deals with strong punishes, right?
Well, so okay, Remiliss has two things going for her. One, if she wants to be fast, she can be fast, always, and that scares Luciya. Like, Luciya doesn't like somebody who can just be faster than her at will. That's dangerous. And two, toxic tendrils. If Remiliss gets toxic tendrils transformed, then she has range superiority over Luciya, someone who wants to be evasive and handle her range as well. So I think essentially this game will be decided by whether tendrils gets transformed, or how quickly it gets transformed. Not if, but when. Like, there's really no way to stop her from getting it if she wants it. That said, Jay does not play the same Remiliss I do. It's actually been remarked on by a few people. So that's my Remiliss approach. He might have a different one. It's well known that or it's widely known that I overvalue speed and range. So maybe I'm overestimating toxic tendrils in that regard. And by the way, when I say toxic tendrils, I don't mean the attack. I mean the transformation. Radiation, right, which gives your EX attacks plus your 1 range.
I've always thought that adding the 1 range just means you can kind of win the speed curve in places you shouldn't. It makes it so your opponent basically has a close in, which I feel like is something that Remiliss is fine with.
Oh yes, Remiliss loves range 1. It's generally her favorite range. So forcing the opponent to fight her at close range is fantastic.
Right.
Alright, so since I'm obligated to cheer for Luciya, let's Let me
Well,
think
no,
about what I
no,
want to
no.
see.
Sinfulness is in the chat. Sinfulness is look is cheering for Luciya audibly, so it's perfectly fine. You can cheer
Wait,
for whoever
really?
you want. Yeah, Remiliss is gonna have a bad time.
I think that's more of a statement of fact.
No,
We're still in turn 0 of the mulligan. Remiliss already finished hers, probably a pretty straightforward one. There's a few high value cards that you look for early. Luciya has a lot more flexibility throughout her kit in terms of what cards she wants at what times. Although, in general, I love the traditional Luciya opener of Chain Trap, Firefly Gunner. Because if you're at starting positions and you throw Chain Trap in play, the opponent has to deal with it or they will just lose to Firefly Gunner. Like, it can't be stopped. Which feels good. It's not true for every character, by the way. There are some people who have answers to Firefly Gunner even with Chain Trap in play, but it's very rare. Alright, we have a +2 speed. Alright, that's enormously threatening. Since Remiliss can turn that into +3. Alright, there you go. Gets teched, makes sense.
yep.
Remiliss does not have a lot of continuous boosts. She basically has that and then one other, which is on her Ultra Nuclear option. Okay. This is Engineer Destruction, reveals top 4 cards of her deck. She picks it by any number of them, discards the rest. Might just take them all. Depends on how willing she is to risk reading. She can also just drop stuff at end of turn since she'll be over hand size.
It looks like not willing to risk reading.
Yep. Alright. Still has a full hand size and picked up a couple of good valuable cards. That's Irradiate and Nuclear option, which are both viable ranged options and just generally high value. Irradiate for its transformation specifically.
So, both of them have some form of mix-up online, then, right? Because you have the.
Oh yeah, this is range 4, which Luciya has, Firefly Gunner, Bug Zapper, Mantis Strike, good old-fashioned dive. Remiliss is more limited. Remiliss is also jumping into range 2, which is Lucia's least favorite range in almost all board states. This gives Remiliss a decent number of threats. Especially given the hand we just saw, EX Nuclear option loses only to dive, I think. Alright, she gets a little bit of chip damage in.
Sure.
And adds that dive to her gauge with her character ability. Puts her at range 1. Interesting. So this telegraphs a Talon Sweep. Or potentially just a focus or a sweep, but probably a Talon Sweep. Remiliss steps back.
That's not what I expected to see.
Both copies of Spikes down on Remiliss's side relatively early. That said, she doesn't usually need Spikes simply because landing a payout is good enough for her. Doesn't need to punch through defenses. In Ground Zero,
Luciya
don't punch through defenses anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
Luciya also notably light on defenses.
This is true, yes. Luciya has literally no printed defenses on any of her specials or ultras. She has a auto dodge on Firefly Gunner, and then otherwise she just relies on being fast and evasive. Remiliss is a good bit tankier. Nuclear option, the ultra that we know she has in hands, has 4 printed guard, but usually it's played EX, so it has 1 armor, 5 guard. She also has Napalm Stream, one of the best defensive cards in the game, because it has an effect on it which says you cannot take more than 5 damage from the opponent's attack, which, since it has 4 printed guard, means that if you EX it, as Remiliss usually does, you're practically stun immune. Alright, we have an EX attack coming in.
A native EX, too. Not
Yep.
a Remiliss EX.
Naturally EX. Alright, so there's a wide variety of options here. Downburst is probably overall the safest play on Lucia's side. She could also just play Cross. Honestly, crossing out is generally the best thing to do against Remiliss. It risks losing hard here to a Assault or possibly a Caustic Vent, or hilariously an Irradiate. Range 3 Irradiate calling out a cross out is a bold move and not one you see very often. So I think Downburst is the likeliest play for Luciya. It deals 3 total damage, so it overcomes the natural defenses provided by an EX attack. And Outspeeds everything except assault. An EX assault here is relatively uncommon. We'll see. Luciya choosing her response. Seems to actually be considering the possibility of a caustic vent here. This surprises me simply because I will almost never play that card as an attack unless I absolutely have to. But, you know, not all Remiliss is played the same way.
Sure.
Alright, we have Firefly
As
Gunner.
it just-
Oh, get stuffed by Assault. Alright.
Yep. Now, is it just because you value the boost on caustic vent so highly?
Yes, that is the reason.
Yes, because it did not look like a particularly bad attack.
Alright, so it gives Remiliss the advantage at range 1. Chooses to prep, keep those resources high. Yeah, it's unusually early to see an EX Assault by Remiliss like this. However, it does mean that one Assault is stocked engaged, which could come in handy much, much later in the game. Specifically post-shuffle. She'll have to have a Radiate Transform to get that value, though.
There.
Parry, probably going to call out Nuclear Option, maybe Ground Zero, maybe Tendrils. Nuclear Option, that is known to be in hand, so we have a guaranteed success here.
Oh, and a parry from Remiliss.
Mm-hmm. Calls out Talon Sweep, makes sense. It's a very strong evasive option at this range. Would mainly just lose to the Nuclear Option.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're a little bit behind here, so that was an in-turn draw, and then we had a prep on Luciya's side, now it's back to Remiliss.
A little bit of mess up with the tabletop there, but it seems to have gotten it sorted out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have Reclamation. That's the boost in caustic vent. Pulls up Nuclear Option.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Talon Sweep. One copy of Talon Sweep being down is pretty unfortunate for Luciya. So if she were to initiate with an EX at range 1, it would put a lot of pressure on Remiliss to call the attack correctly, essentially, because she would have no particularly safe defense. Excuse me. She could play EX Grasp to try to cover Talon Sweep, which is the big threat. However, if Luciya were to just play an EX Grasp or an EX Sweep even, the EX Grasp on Remiliss' side will lose pretty heavily. So getting rid of one copy of Talon Sweep narrows the mix-up significantly to something that Remiliss can probably find a way to deal with. Alright, Luciya dealing that chip damage, getting some gauge.
Sure. Doing so, getting rid of preemptive attack.
That is surprising, but Remiliss is not usually speed sensitive, so preemptive attack is not always necessary. It also...
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Ooh. Alright, so we have Initiate Launch. Remiliss' next attack is EX. And she has an after effect with us to return to hand by spinning one gauge. Gets teched, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the canonical card that you tech in this matchup. Well, that and Light. Which reminds me, I think that is... Yeah, I think that is both copies of Dive Down on Luciya's side. A lot of very careful footsies being played in this early game.
Yeah. Alrighty.
3-4's EX attack. That is Remiliss' character ability. When she sets her attack, she can spend 3-4s, and if she does, her attack is considered an EX attack.
I thought it was the boost, but nope.
So the safest play here is actually nuclear option if he has the other copy. If nuclear option is not available, or rather, if it's not nuclear option, it could be a very risky toxic tendrils. It could be a very punishing ground zero. Both of those lose handily to cross, which is why I think that nuclear option is the likeliest. It could even be a cross, although that would put Remiliss at range, which feels unlikely. Or something like a sweep, which would just be built to be heavily punishing and highly damaging. I think ground zero is preferable to sweep here, though.
There's the talent sweep, and it's a cross, so...
Alright, a grasp, brother.
Or grasp, yeah, sorry.
Yep. Alright, so the EX grasp, guaranteed to be faster than anything Luciya can do. Luciya calling a slower attack and trying to evade, but is unsuccessful. Get stuffed. Also puts grasp in gauge, where Remiliss can call on it later for resources.
And also gets talent sweep offline.
Yeah, that's both copies of talent sweep. This is pretty valuable for Remiliss. Luciya probably wants to either boost Chain Climb or Whirlwind in the near future. She's not doing too well in the close range game. And checking those discards. Something's odd, but what? We may never know. Alright, Luciya backs up to range 3, puts herself in the corner. But at range 3, which is generally favorable for her, because it means the Firefly Gunner is live. And we've seen both copies of Assault dropped by Remiliss, and one copy of Caustic Vent, which means there's not a lot of above-curve nonsense Remiliss can throw here. Remiliss steps into range 2. Once again, Luciya's least comfortable range.
Yep. Keeping her corner too, so...
Relatively speaking.
Well, true.
If
yeah,
Luciya boosts, yeah, like if Luciya boosts Chain Climb, then she'll jump out to range 6 in a hurry.
Cmeshai calling a potential attack here.
Ah, transforming Mantis Strike. That's fair. It's a good attack, but only a good attack. And it is very possible for it to just get stuffed, so avoiding that risk is good. Engineer Destruction, revealing EX Ground 0 Focus and Consumption. All very valuable cards. The question is basically whether or not to take the focus. Alright, decides to take everything, is going to end up discarding end of turn, so might still drop the focus. We'll find out in a moment. Needs to narrow that hand down. Drops the second grasp. And there you go, the focus. Yeah, we have Luciya jumping the gun a bit there. Yep, and boost Chain Climb.
Yep.
To deal the damage, get some gauge, and get some distance. Oh, Tendrils is now online. That also means Irradiate is now online.
Yeah. I think that's something you want to drop when you're at this distance.
Yeah, Luciya actually just made Irradiate unanswerable, which is kind of funny. Oh, that's not. No, that is true. Actually, that is true. Yeah, because even Ride the Lightning will just miss and go into range 2. Boost for speed, which means Bug Zapper can now beat it. She only has 1 copy of Bug Zapper remaining, if I counted correctly. And it would be expensive, but she could do it.
Remy moving in.
That's surprising. I very much was expecting the EX Irradiate from range 6. Huh.
Speed and power now from Luciya.
Yeah, Luciya very much telegraphing that she has Bug Zapper on tap. Although now that they're range 4, she could also just throw a dive. No, wait, those. Nope, both dives are teched. Both Mantis Strikes are teched. Huh. So yeah, it's Bug Zapper, Firefly Gunner. The canonical range 4 mix-up, basically. I mean, not so much Bug Zapper, but just a dive-like.
Both of which are currently live, so there's no easy way to deduce that.
Yeah, both sides of the mix-up.
Another EX transform, getting rid of Irradiate.
Well, fair enough. I mean, if he wasn't going to throw it from range, may as well just transform it. So let's see. Sweep and Ground Zero are both decent attacks here. However, they lose to Firefly Gunner. So I think Caustic Vent is like the only really strong attack that Remiliss has now. And it loses to Ride the Lightning. Although then again, losing to Ride the Lightning is really not the worst thing unless you commit a lot of resources. Which, okay, Remiliss usually does.
Okay.
That's like the thing that makes this matchup tough for Remiliss, is that Luciya can punish people who overcommit.
Is the... I know one copy of Caustic is down. Is the other one live?
I believe the other is live.
Okay.
I feel like looking at this as the Luciya player, it's a little bit harder to judge when exactly you've invested enough resources rather than too many.
Running low again.
On cards in deck, presumably, since we've seen 2 copies of Engineered Destruction. Yep, Remiliss only has 3 cards left in deck. Normally that would imply a reading is coming out, but we do not see a reading. We just see a strike, 1 card. Alright.
Yeah, maybe just estimating that this card's got most of the 8 that can come out answered.
Alright. Well.
Did not have that one answered, though.
We have the Bare Naked Firefly Gunner getting stuffed by the dive. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Luciya initiated, which means now Remiliss' turn. Remiliss is at range 1, and Luciya is cornered with no copies of Talent Sweep, but I believe we still have at least 1 Ride the Lightning, if not both. So this is not guaranteed.
But it is an EX.
Wait, hold on. No, it is guaranteed. Ride the Lightning only goes to range 4. So Ride the Lightning is still the best option, though, because it means you don't take 8 damage. You only take 5. Luciya double checking to see if there's a mix-up in play. I mean, technically Remiliss could be playing something else, but there's no reason not to throw Ground Zero here.
Right.
And the reason that you would pay for it, for those not too familiar with the patterns here, is that having Irradiate transforms means that once you transform Ground Zero, the other copy will automatically be EX later. So you want to pay for one to be EX, transform it, and then play the other one, and it's automatically EX. So you get to play 2 copies of EX round 0 in a row. EX round 0 is a very good attack. Yeah, Cmeshai calling being
that as well.
super obvious play, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to make it look like round 0 and play something else, but it's hard to imagine anything else to play here.
Alright, EX to EX.
Okay, EX focus to avoid getting stunned, yeah. So 8 power with 3 armor takes 5 damage. And then deals 4. Yep. EX focus and EX sweep, some of the only cards that can withstand that huge power spike by range 1 ground 0. Looks like Luciya chose to prep next. That's interesting, since there's no reason for Remiliss not to just throw the other... Yep, there's ground 0 again.
There it is. Yeah.
Alright, so Luciya should really be playing Ride the Lightning about now. If she's desperate, she could play Skies the Flame if she has the other copy. But like, she needs to not be standing here in the corner. It's a bad place to stand.
Any chance that she, any chance that she decided to just search for that Ride the Lightning? Maybe she didn't have it in hand.
Maybe so. I'm surprised we didn't see a change cards in that case, though. She could also play a Downburst to mitigate this, since that would also get her out of the range 1 threat zone. There you go. Yeah. So she'll deal a total of 2 damage, and then she'll take 5 and end up at range 1 again.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, it is now Luciya's turn. So, it's a dangerous time to be a Luciya player here. Like, in theory, Luciya is advantaged, tactically speaking. However, Remiliss does have enough resources to EX anything she wants. Well, to EX the card on top of her deck, I should say. But she has only 3 cards in deck, so she has a good chance of knowing what that is. Alright, Luciya jumps back into the corner, which, yeah, it means that Ride the Lightning is a stronger escape tool. So this is a sensible play. Like, you don't want to Ride the Lightning into the corner. You want to ride it out of the corner. Alright, we have the change cards to draw the rest of her deck. This makes sense.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Also gets that ground 0 back into the deck.
Yep, which is super important. Notably, Luciya did not have any focuses because she played EX focus earlier, so reading was not a threat here. She's going to do 1 chip damage, which is really surprising here. Because giving Remiliss time is asking for trouble. And it's not doing a whole lot for Luciya to do that. Like, to get out of the corner in that way. So I think Remiliss's play is Reclamation ground 0. But she has options. She could also change cards or whole hand if she wants to. She could parry. You know, she has options. J double checking the card counts. Yeah, Luciya's a little shallow on deck. We might see a reading come up just if, particularly if Luciya has 2 copies of any given normal left. That makes the odds potentially good enough to risk. Normally you want the opponent in the corner, but because of how Ride the Lightning works as an evasive tool, it's actually better for, like, Remiliss is in a better position here than if Luciya was in the corner.
Right, because you cannot escape it. And if he gets that ground 0 back, the Ride the Lightning is just straight up get killed.
Alright, we have a prep.
Alright. deciding not to grab it.
Yep. Might have still gotten it, but that means Remiliss's threats are effectively unknown. Looks like Luciya is trying to decide if she wants to do that same maneuver to get back in the corner for 1 more damage. At this point, it might be worth it. Oh, okay. So threatening the cross here. Parry cross.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have it. Okay. 035, ride, flame.
You start making a copy.
Desire to make a copy.
Yeah.
Alright, puts it on... Okay, so those are no normals. So, obviously, Luciya needs to do something about that. Since there are no normals in Luciya's hands, and a known reading in Remiliss's hands.
Yep.
Alright. Ditching those to jump past. Yeah, okay. So the block is still known, but in this situation, reading block is not too bad. If Remiliss was Yellow Death, then maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to let block get readings. Actually, reading block would get rid of that +2 speed. And if you played cross, it would then give Remiliss the center of the board. Excuse me. Which might not be a bad idea.
Yep. Looks like they were going to search for the... yeah, they were going to go ahead and try to search that discard pile.
That was TTS at work.
Yep.
Easy to accidentally hit the deal button when you're trying to search. Does not usually happen in real life. Luciya has block in hand and drew 1 card out of the deck.
Looks like deciding something here, possibly whether or not to.
Yeah, Jay may just be trying to determine what exactly is left in Luciya's hand and deck combined.
Yeah.
Like, there's essentially only 4 unknown cards, one of which enter the hand. Depending on what those 2 unknown cards are in Remiliss's hand, Luciya's in a fairly reasonable position. The problem is if Remiliss draws Ground Zero, or to a lesser extent Nuclear Option, or Sweep, Luciya is suddenly not looking so good. Since at that point Remiliss can strike with the EX card, or even just 1 card, and Luciya won't be able to escape.
Both players now looking at the Luciya discard there. Trying to figure out exactly what's left in deck, I suppose.
So it is Remiliss's turn. She has an advantage. It looks like Luciya has been building up to her Exceed, however, which might give her what she needs to... Oh, okay, we have a backstep.
Interesting.
That is not the way I expected her to attain range 4. Okay. There's a mix-up here, which is kind of interesting. Oh, well, it might not be a mix-up, depending on what Luciya has left. If Luciya dropped both copies of Firefly Gunner, then it's not a true mix-up, because EX Nuclear option trades with everything.
Oh.
Like, the normal telegraph here is Skies of Flame. Skies of Flame looks unbeatable here. However, it would trade with EX Nuclear option.
Which it
Or
looks like we are
EX
getting
speed.
an EX.
Yeah, there's no way this isn't an EX attack. Probably a defensive move. The question is, what's that third card? Okay. Oh, okay, it was bait. Oh, oh, well, that's a bad thing to bait. Yeah, because Nuclear Option's main value is in the hit effect that adds the top 2 cards of Remiliss's discard to her gauge. And she is going to get that value. Whereas Luciya both lost her light and needs to spend resources to not take damage here. Oof.
Yeah, no, that's about as well as you can hope from a bait like that.
Yeah. The big thing also that Luciya spent her turn to do it means that this was clearly a 1 strike for Remiliss. Luciya is still trying to decide if she wants to spin that force or save it. Does decide to spin it, which I think is probably the right call because it needs to go back in deck after reshuffle. Skies of Flame is just a super high value card. You don't want those stuck in gauge.
Also, I feel like there's a huge difference between being at range 4 at 6 and 5 life against Remiliss. Or sorry, 6 and 7 life rather.
Mm-hmm. 6 and 7, not as much. 5 and 6 is a huge difference. 6 and 7, the only thing that changes is EX Sweep. Which, you know, granted, EX Sweep nukes the whole board for 7, so it's a pretty big deal.
Doesn't the EX Assault and Dive also hit at this range?
Yes, but
lethal?
those deal 5 and 6. Which, okay, EX Dive, I didn't think about that. I wasn't thinking of EX Dive at all, just to be honest. I was thinking of EX Assaults, EX Nuclear Option, EX Round 0, EX Sweep.
Yeah.
Skipped Dive in my head. There's also Toxic Tendrils, which does 5 damage. Alright, so 1 card. We're not going to see an EX response. I see. It's a natural EX Tendrils. Alright, so Skies of Flame does 3 damage. 4 damage.
Yep, will stun Tendrils.
And gains advantage for Luciya. So that helps even up the life, which she does need. Looks like she's deciding what she wants to spend on her Exceed, probably. Oh, no, sorry. That was just for spinning gauge for the attack. So it's her turn again.
Right. So... Exceed may not be terrible right now because just to get some more cards in hand depending on what's currently there.
Yeah, you can drop Focus and Downburst or Focus and Assault, and as well as Skies of Flame, of course, into your discards for the reshuffle. Alright, we have Aftershock pulling back both Wait, hold on. No, we have an EX attack. That's an EX attack, okay. If both copies of Firefly Gunner are down, then this is, once again, probably just a big, heavy ranged option, so either Nuclear Option or Sweep. Could be Assault, though.
Yeah.
Really should have picked up the Caustic Vent, because Caustic Vent is a live threat, even if it's not a very common play. But, oh well.
Also agreeing it's probably Sweep.
Yep, very hard to withstand this.
Insane does not have much in the way of an answer.
Mm-hmm. You need Firefly Gunner or you need Armor. Well, we have Armor. Oh yeah, the EX Ride Lightning from earlier. Oh. It's not Sweep. It was the dive. Yeah, for those wondering, if you play an EX Ultra attack, the card's been engaged and the second copy of the EX go to discard in either order. It's your choice. Alright, I'm very surprised by the EX dive play here.
Sorry, I had some pop out, so I had to avoid that, but...
No worries. So the fact that Remy played the dive there suggests that suggests that she doesn't have one of those better options, which means Luciya probably has a turn to catch her breath. She probably wants to get those ultras back into her deck somehow, but if she does that, she's only going to have 2 gauge after exceeding, which is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an awkward situation.
For sure.
Like, she has a breather, but it's hard to decide how to best use it.
Especially with the single card you have in hand.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's known or not. We have a prep. Okay.
Alright. A single card is visible.
Looking at the last card in deck.
Sure, so it's decipherable information.
Yeah, presumably they'd asked their opponent earlier about that. But it's a very common courtesy to let your opponent check their last card if it's completely reducible. Alright, so it's Remiliss's turn. Is definitely looking through those discards to determine what those last 4 cards are. Since it's possible, especially with both Ride the Lightnings down, that Remiliss can throw something unbeatable here. Probably not a guaranteed lethal, or she would have played it last turn. Excuse me.
Fair. He's just saying, not the best matchup for Luciya. No Johns, he's shy.
Maybe
no
it's not, maybe. Sorry, what?
Oh, wait, is that not a common term?
What did you say?
No Johns.
Haven't heard it. It might be common, but I haven't heard it.
That's a Smash term, just like blaming the matchup or the controller or something for a loss.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best matchup for Luciya, but I actually think it is Luciya favored, as I was describing earlier. Like, her ability to evade and to force Remy to miss payouts is a big deal.
Yeah.
Taxi in chat says no Johns is really common in the Smash scene and in general common in the fighting game scene. Okay, yeah, you are vindicated.
Thank you. Thank you, Taxi.
It's my ignorance at fault.
That's okay. This will be the only time, I'm sure.
Cmeshai taunting Jay to attempt a reading. Looks like we're going to see an EX. Oh, but it's not... Okay, we don't know what this is. It's not Focus, because that would miss, and it's not Caustic Vent, because that just got played, or that just gets spent as Force. So I'm very surprised. So, probably Assault?
I mean... That's probably GG.
Oh, they think it's the EX Sweep? See, if I was Remy, I would have played the EX Sweep last turn if I had it, so I don't think it's EX Sweep.
Yeah. question is that certain?
I mean, if you think it's GG, then you don't play against that because you can't beat it. So assume it's not and play something else. Oh, Cmeshai calling out to his girlfriend.
This is for you. Okay.
Ooh, that's a strong play.
Grasp. Oh. That broken
right.
heart.
Oh no, that's an actual heart.
Okay.
All right, throwing the grasp from hand to preserve the card in deck because he considers the card in deck more valuable. Yeah, we do see this at high levels play. All right, so the EX Spike will deal 6 damage, not quite lethal, leaving a focus in hand as the one known card.
Not dead.
Yeah, not quite. Good time to exceed. Or just change cards, actually. But
I was saying he hasn't been punished, so he probably is presumably throwing something.
Yeah, exactly. Focus is the one card in hands. And that means that Remy cannot EX their next attack automatically. Or sorry, they can't EX it manually. It could be EX automatically. This is change cards then, right?
Okay.
See me. And we're probably going to see a change cards from Remiliss as well.
And we've seen Isha use the R button shuffle before, right? So the yeah, what happened?
Hang on, how did Luciya get that many cards? Spent 6.
Is that in contestation?
Two rides, one card from hands, and then another card from Gage. Okay.
Alright, I'm just gonna run that back really quick.
If Luciya had 4 Gage, do we need to check the video here?
I'm checking the video. It looks like there are 2 rides in the Gage.
Right, but are
there cards?
What else is in Gage?
2 rides. Looks like the other Ultra and Downburst. So it does the 2 rides and does Assaults. That's what I'm seeing be spent.
Okay. From hand? Assault from hand?
Yeah, Assault from hand.
Okay, so the Gage was Ride the Lightning, Skies of Flame, Downburst?
I did not see Skies of Flame go down, but I'm watching it real quick. Yep. So I got the Ride the Lightning, Assault. Yeah, 2 Ride the Lightnings and Assault.
So just to, I want to make sure I understand this. You're saying there were 4 cards engaged when Luciya took the CC action.
Yes.
They were Ride the Lightning, Skies of Flame, and Downburst.
Yes. Looks like Downburst. Yeah, it's the Downburst that's currently in there. Spends both Ride the Lightnings, spends an Assault from hand. Yeah, the Red Lightnings go in before, yeah. So it looks like it's 5-4 spent.
Yeah. So spend 5. Right, so you draw 6 instead of 7.
Yes. Last card reshuffled in with no discard. Seems reasonable.
Since you're watching the video, can you check for a hand being reordered?
Yeah, I can pull that I closed it, but I can reopen that fairly easily. So looking for hand order after the reshuffle?
Yeah, just confirm that. So,
Yep. I think it was about 56 is where this began.
yeah. Okay, so they drew 7, they should have drawn 6, which means that we took the last card they drew and shuffled it back into the deck.
Yep, I'm back at the timestamp where the reshuffle is about to happen.
Yeah. Feel free to keep checking to make sure nothing else went weird, but I think we got it sorted out.
All right, cool. I'll let you know when I've verified. But I would be surprised if something else went weird. I didn't catch anything, but I also was in video, so.
Okay, and yeah, we saw the CC1 from Gage tossing the spikes, draw a total of 3 cards with power cycling, which gives Remiliss resources, which is pretty important. Also important, Firefly Gunner is live again.
Does not look like anything got reshuffled, at least not as far as the video goes.
Okay, thanks. Let's see, advances 1. Remy preps. Range 3 is a dangerous place to stand.
Especially with 1 life.
Yeah, 1 life and 1 downburst down. Okay, that's a lot better. That means that Ride the Lightning can now actually stun an EX attack, since otherwise it cannot. I believe it is still Remiliss' turn.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh.
we have a reading.
Say, this could be game.
Calling out Spike. Unsuccessful.
No spike.
Hmm. But since it's Spike, almost anything beats it. So there's actually a mix-up here. Since it's not EX, though, it's reasonably safe to just throw Ride the Lightning here. Well, it could be EX, since it's not a paid-for EX.
Correct. Yeah. No, Jay wisely not confirming or denying the not EX.
So
Since
the question is basically, do you throw Firefly Gunner or not? You only throw Firefly Gunner if you think that this was Ground Zero or Radiate. Because both Ground Zero and Radiate would actually kill through Ride the Lightning, which is a big deal.
yeah.
Difficult call here. Well,
Yeah.
Moriatti, what call would you make?
Um.
Do you think it's one of those two EX attacks or not?
I think. Let's see here. 9 in deck probably has it. Ground Zero feels safe against a lot of the Luciya options. I would probably play against Ground Zero. But there's a lot that could have.
So, counterpoint. It may be that Jay is desperate to finish this game quickly. Oh, here we go. All right,
It was a Radiate.
called it correctly. Yep. It was one of the two auto EXs, which will deal a tidy 7 damage to Remiliss. Firefly Gunner was the correct call.
Triumphant Call of We Got It, which is not guaranteed at this point, man.
No, I think he means I got the read.
Oh yeah, he definitely got the read though.
Mhm.
And the light being boosted makes sense. Sweep is you're not trading at this point.
Oh.
The other read.
Oh.
Oh.
The second reading. Calls across, plays an attack that hits.
Yeah, you're just dead.
Yep. Yep. Steps back, dies. GG.
I've never seen a cross be thrown so saltily.
All right, well, we're on to game 3.
Yeah. I'm thinking we're seeing a return of Luciya on Jay's side, but what we get out of Ishai is questionable.
Yeah, well, probably Geoffrey.
That's,
If so, we may have a third commentator join us.
Yeah.
We'll find out shortly.
Which would be useful because I will have to disappear here probably in the next 20 minutes.
You traitor, I can't believe it. You would turn your back on me. How dare you? Excuse me.
Live on stream, I'm going to betray D to his face.
Alas, you stabbed me in the face.
Yeah, where else are you gonna? I mean, like, it's the most effective way. One turn away from pulling it off is one turn too many in this case.
Yeah, both games was one turn away from getting closed out.
Yeah, which makes this a very exciting finals. I mean, going to game 3 at the very least. Will it go to game 4? I don't know, but I will return in just a moment.
Okay. let's see. I'm speaking to our probable third commentator. Oh boy, it's the mirror. Whew. This is gonna be goofy. What's going on here? There we go.
Hello?
Hey! Welcome
Howdy.
to the stream. Alright, well, this is gonna be
Mirror
goofy.
match already sounds cancerous.
Well, this should be curiously catastrophic. I told Moriatti we switched rooms, so he'll be over here in a second, I think. See me. Alright, looks like Cmeshai is going first, prepared. Then we have Chain Trap, which gets teched right away. Alright. We have Parry, probably going to calls Mantis Strike. That's a surprise. I would have called either Ultra or Firefly Gunner. Whoa, that's a lot of normals.
Welcome to Normal Land.
Oh, wow. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 7. What
Oh
are-
god.
For a focus.
Yeah.
That is not that great of a hand for him,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind the delay, Sinfulness. I just realized you're not in the TTS room.
Yeah.
I can share a screen. If that's. Give me a second.
Via Discord.
That'll
Yeah,
probably have less. Yeah, that'll probably have less delay.
Yeah, I just want to have someone else jump in the middle of the game because it'll lag.
Yeah, I get it. I've been lagging off and on all day today, so.
I shared the screen up in the in there, so that should keep it.
We have Parry Focus,
flip
Parry
through.
Focus. This is a very silly game.
Going to be a very silly game.
Oh, it's already silly. I mean, I saw that hand of 7 normals.
I've played Cmeshai's Renea in a Renea mirror match, and that was already cancerous, so.
Oh, Renea Mirrors. Oh, I can't stand it.
I've won against him too, but he hates me for it.
Okay,
And
so
now everyone knows.
So I have to ask: are you here? Are you going to root for or against Cmeshai? Or neither. You can choose neither.
As the girlfriend obligation, I kind of have to root for him.
Okay.
Honestly,
Totally fine. See, I wasn't sure if that.
I don't
if
personally like Luciya because I hate how fast she is.
That's fair.
But to be fair, I play Eugenia, so.
Fair. Okay. So, all right. Well, you're rooting for. Moriatti's rooting against. That means I will go back to just rooting for the audience. We have a strike being initiated.
He's already trying to call me out. I see you.
All right. Firefly Gunner whiffs against the cross.
Yep.
It's not
5
gonna
turns
matter.
in and not a single point of damage.
Knowing his history with mirror matches, I'm assuming he might have an upper hand here, but I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. I certainly don't play mirror matches very often. I don't like them as much as playing different characters.
Yeah.
Sure.
It doesn't have the, like, taste to it.
All right, we have Fierce, Telegraphing Bug Zapper. Okay, running in, threatening Downburst, which loses to Downburst.
He likes the corner a lot, because then he can't use Luciya's UA all that. Well, the opponent can't use the UA all that quickly, so.
Yeah, this is definitely a matchup where both characters want the corner. So Cmeshai currently has the upper hand simply because of that positioning advantage.
Spike hurts here though. Just saying.
Mhm. Yes, Spike. Let's see. Spike would get. So let's see. Jay's Luciya would be stunned by downburst, even if it was Spike, because of that extra +1 damage from the cross up. I'm just
Correct.
thinking through answers. Is this a downburst? Firefly
I
Gunner.
think it's Firefly Gunner.
Oh!
Sweep!
What a
Ooh.
read!
He did the no you play on
Called
himself.
Wow. That was a cheeky defense. However, I think that is both Firefly Gunners on Jay's side.
Yes.
That's kind of an oof for Luciya because she kind of likes that +3 speed because it scares the opponent to thinking like, you know, oh, I have something slow, but I have +3 speed. What are you gonna do about it? Sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we have a reading.
Wow,
The
that-
deadly reading.
Reading out cross.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Oh, the value. It hurts. Well, that's both Foci and both Firefly Gunners down on Jay's side of the board. On the other hand, he's up by 12. Ooh, gotta ride the lightning out too.
Wow.
These are some really hefty beats. That said, that we can have just as swingy beats in the mid game, turning things back around the other way, because that's just how mirror matches work.
Yep.
Mirror matches are a little wonky when you know what you have, and you also know what the opponent has. So
Yeah, they tend to have periods that swing heavily in either direction, just based on what the contents of both players' hands are at any given time. And EX attacks can turn everything around.
plus Cmeshai has already had a Luciya mirror match in the tournament, so he kind of knows
Mhm.
basics, I
Was it
guess,
Simple
of this
Strike?
mirror match.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that like mirrors tend to be the least practiced matchup of any matchup for a character. So that's an advantage for him. We have preemptive, +2 speed and
Deciding
strike.
what to pay for it with, it seems.
Yeah, it looks that way because he had 6 a second ago, so he needs to spend force. There you go. Oh, it's not
Getting
preemptive
rid of this
spike.
thing.
Well, okay, sorry, it's not that preemptive spike. Could be the other one. Huh. Ride the lightning on defense at speed 8.
Oof.
Is it enough? It is enough. Outspeeds the
Alright,
speed
that was
7
a
assault. Wow. Does
Just
1
by
full
1.
damage. Oh.
Ride the lightning is such a funny attack.
Oh, it
I
is.
Going up.
Oh man. Oh, that's so silly, but it
Boosting
worked.
spike on defense. That's not a bad idea.
All right, this feels like talent sweep.
It does.
It's not much to be done about talent sweep. I guess you can play Mantis Strike, Dive,
Or Bug Zapper
Bug
if he wants to be
Zapper.
funny.
Yeah, actually, never mind. There's actually quite a few things because defend is in play. You have options. Oh, it is, and it is.
Yeah.
Good call. All right.
Bug Zapper is a really funny thing at range 1 if you're trying to be cocky.
Hang on. Was there an expenditure there? Okay, they fixed it.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, spent 4 force. 4. Okay. Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Deciding whether or not to transform grandstanding. Ultimate Lex 2, it looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Grandstanding's very good. Whew.
Oh, deciding not to.
Spicy match already.
All right. Well, this also means that Ride the Lightning is online. I think there is 1 copy left. Someone gets
Yep.
swept, but... Oh! Change of heart.
Yep. He wants to get.
Jay's saying which one?
Yeah, let's get a final answer before we move on. Okay. Game state is set.
Alright.
He wants those transforms out pretty quickly.
Makes
Right
sense.
click it and lock it.
Oh, nice. All right, the Wild Swing Grasp
Alrighty.
beats out that Talent Sweep.
That grass did some damage, but you know.
Did more morale damage.
Yeah. All
There's
lowercase
definitely a
type
possibility of coming back
in
here if
the,
he does it
in the chat
correctly.
log.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Jay will just go for the tempo surge from exceeding, even though it's hilariously early. Like, normally you would never exceed this early. But getting
There
to draw
wouldn't
that
really
many
be
cards.
a necessary reason to if he would try to exceed this early.
Yeah, it's just how desperate is he for the card draw. You could also just CC from Gauge, which is almost as good. Actually, it might even be better.
He might need to.
But it's not as funny.
I grant this. I grant this. You're not wrong.
There's a few things funnier than saying, I have twice your life and also I'm red.
Yeah. So, on the one hand, situationally Jay is ahead in a lot of ways, but he spent a lot of high value cards to get here, and he did not succeed in transforming Talon Sweep, whereas Cmeshai did. So, in terms of long-term planning, I think Cmeshai is still fine because his power cards are still in that deck.
Well, Talon Sweep gives power to both players, so you really only need one transform in this matchup, right?
Oh, not necessarily for Luciya. Luciya needs like 2 or 3 at most, depending on what you have.
That's comical. Yeah. Talon Sweep gives power to both players, but generally only that Luciya gets to take advantage of it. No, they prepped.
Feels like an Akuma boost.
I was say it's Talon Sweeper, as I like to call it, Akuma Jr.
I just made that joke.
Curses.
Yeah, Luciya struck with Talon Sweep, and then Luciya prepped. Now it's back to Luciya. Just making sure nobody's confused here. And then Luciya prepped.
It would have been funnier if it wasn't Renea, because he would have been freaked out if he was facing against me.
I think it would have been funnier if it was Ryu, because then your sentence could have been Ryu's, and then Ryu'd.
But Ryu doesn't Ryu. Ryuing is moving without spinning anything.
Who would have thought that one of the final matches would have been a mirror match?
Alright, so we have a move action which deals a damage because of Lucia's ability. It also gives Luciya.J the corner, which, as we established earlier, is an advantageous position against Luciya.Cmeshai.
Yeah, the positioning in this matchup kind of really depends, because you also want the corner, but you also want the center stage as well.
I think because both Firefly Gunners are down on Jay's side, it's not that bad for Cmeshai, because he can probably throw Downburst and Assault, and still have like Spike Sweep as a mix-up threat.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Die also hurts.
Downburst. Okay. Does 3.
Oh.
Get some damage in.
Stuff's to dive at the very least.
Yep. J preps.
Game would have been a whole lot different if it was Geoffrey versus Luciya, because CME would have definitely had the upper hand. Well, Geoffrey would have had the upper hand, maybe, in this certain scenario, but...
Yeah. Cmeshai checking game state. Yeah, Luciya.J was at 25 and took 3 damage. Life is correct. We have another prep.
So currently, CME's twice as low as Jay, but he can still get the upper hand if he tries a little bit harder.
Yeah, he has retaken the corner, so positioning favors him, and he has a few good cards left that we haven't seen.
Also, he has a little Akuma in his pocket, as Sinfulness mentioned. So.
That's
Yep.
true. That's true. All right. J preps in turn, and now both Luciyas have pretty full hands. So
Yep.
we will probably start.
So
to
it
see
can
some
go
good
either
actions.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever gets the next transform out first probably hurts a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Range 2 is awkward for both of them, though. It's not a good place. Like, I think range 2 here. Oh, okay, never mind. That changes the math.
Well, yeah. Now it's
That
good.
changes a lot.
+2 speed. And I did not see a grandstanding expenditure, so it looks like that's just +2 speed and strike.
Yep. That
Interesting.
boost always would kill me
Mhm.
whenever I was facing him.
Oh.
So
That is an amazing boost. Oh, it looks like Cmeshai is reconsidering.
EX.
Not an
Oh,
EX, but
grandstanded.
grandstanding.
he's spending force.
Yeah, spinning force for grandstanding. So that's +2 speed, +1 power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh. Downburst will lose that
Well.
speed tie.
That speed tie probably wouldn't have gotten him there, but you know.
Yeah. So let's see. Luciya needs to spin. Looks like she's gonna spin 3 force. No. 1,
Two?
2, 3, 4 to miss. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I guess that gets you the gauge, but it doesn't get you a transformation. Oh no, spinning 3. All right, that makes a little more
Spinning
sense.
Okay,
And then does a total of 6.
correct.
Mhm.
Because it hurts a lot.
Yep. Thanks to that grandstanding and the moving over effect of her character ability.
Fun fact: Luciya was his Luciya was actually inspired by my Eugenia a little bit because of the non-lethal,
Mhm.
apparently. So
So what you're saying is you should have won the tournament.
maybe not, but you know.
Yeah, I can see that from the actions he takes. The low tempo actions just sort of jump over the opponent, deal damage, and recycle the same card from gauge. It does, like, it reminds me of Time for Tea, except it's net up a card instead of net even.
Right. He actually taught me how to play Eugenia, so it's kind of funny he's in this sort of scenario.
Makes sense. All right, so that was Cmeshai's initiative. Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, whoops.
Nani?
Jay losing track of who has what transformations.
Oh.
Yeah. Luciya has grandstanding, but Luciya does not. To be perfectly
Now
clear.
the real like brave, like the bold move, the gamer move here is to use your own grandstanding when you set your attack with your Eshai.
I know, right? It's great.
So don't worry, you were correct.
I mean, he might, if he's confident that what he sets will get value. Not likely though. You usually only want to use that
Probably.
on initiative when you're certain that you'll be faster, and especially if you're confident that you won't get counterattacked.
Normally, I think CME would play kind of more of a reactionary term, but I'm not entirely sure with a mirror match, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of card counting going on right now. I think. Cmeshai says they really don't want to get hit by sweep. Well, then play a thing that beats sweep. You are Luciya, so you should have.
You have enough power to break sweep guard. What are you scared about?
Not on defense, because you need to have a 6 power attack. Like, you need to have a sweep that was initiating. Excuse me. On defense, it's not going to be easy to do that.
Yeah. If he's aggressive enough, he might be able to.
Yeah, so this might be a talent sweep. Like the second copy, just to try to get out of here. Oh, let's ride the lightning. Oh, it's sweep. Okay, called it correctly. Wait, hold on. Then why did they... If they called sweep, then why did they play ride the lightning? They get put in the corner and take much damage.
Maybe they wanted to lose 2 gauge and a card from hand.
1 gauge net.
Fair.
But yeah. Like, because it refunds one of them. Alright.
So it's even or odd right now, technically.
Yeah. Alright, well that was good for Jay. And again, it means he's at range 2 with the other Luciya cornered. And that's to ride the lightning down, which actually... Yeah, I would say that was definitely good for Jay. The main thing that's holding Cmeshai's position up here is that he has 2 transformations, not 1. Which
How many
means
sweeps
he can
does
get
Jay have left?
I believe none, but there might be 1 left. I'm not sure.
There might be 1 in discard or something.
Wait for what? Oh yeah, the after effects. That is mandatory. After if the opponent is stunned, move 2. It's a weird transformation.
Probably would want to move over to do more damage, but you know.
You can't move over because Cmeshai has the
Oh,
corner.
yeah.
Yeah.
But range 1 works as well.
Yeah, probably better than range 4 in this situation. Hard to say. Cmeshai probably changing cards.
Most likely, because he only has 1 card in his hand.
Yeah, so spending, what, 4 force?
To draw 5.
Probably. Yep, CC4 to draw 5. There we go.
To refill his hand, like he normally does.
Yep. Down to 3 cards in deck. It could be important. I don't think we've seen a...
We haven't seen that another Skies of Flame, have we?
I'm trying to remember, actually. That's what I was just thinking.
Because we know he boosted it once.
We saw the 1 boost, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's 1 left. That said, I believe both of Jay's readings are down because we saw the back-to-back readings earlier. So
Right.
he hasn't reshuffled, which means that he probably can't punish this low deck size.
CME was probably afraid of the focuses early game, which is why he tried to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he likes using focus as his own, so...
Yeah. Oh, that's right. One of them was parried. He didn't play 2 readings. One got parried, and then he readings for the other, I'm pretty sure. I'm
Right.
mixing up my games now.
Luciya isn't my strong suit, since I always have heated matches with him, but I know pretty well how his playstyle works.
Mm-hmm. And I, in turn, have played against Jay's Luciya many, many times. Alright, looks like Jay is initiating. At range 1. This could just be a grasp? I don't know.
It could. It could be a funny grasp.
Yeah.
To try to move CME out of the corner.
Mm-hmm. It could also be a lethal threat. Not a lot of those left. Very much depends on what Jay learned by checking those discards and counting those cards. I'm not keeping a very good track here because it's all the same cards across 2 characters. It's just hard to remember who is what.
This is me with the Renea mirror match. It gets even crazier.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
Oh.
Alright. Okay, assault into focus.
That's not that bad.
Yep.
Or either.
So Cmeshai using that after effect on Bug Zapper. And moves out of the corner. Jay has advantage. Interesting. So that was a range 1 assault.
Yeah. He's probably trying to save some big thing for later, according to his hand size.
He might not have time for it. We'll see.
Well, if he used a focus, then he must be planning something big.
Yeah, focus is pretty high value. Although I also think it was just the safe play there because he had... with 5 life, the 2 armor from focus means he could not die on that strike. No matter what was worth. Yep, Jimmy moves range 1 and passing turn. Interesting that he didn't take the center. since he actually could have done that for the same price and dealt 1 non-lethal damage in the process. Excuse me, because he would spend the Bug Zapper from hand and the Red Lightning from Gage to move over, and then add the Red Lightning back to Gage and deal 1 non-lethal, and take center.
Yeah. Oh, there's the boosted suite.
Yep.
That he loves.
I mean, it's pretty good. I'm a big fan of light myself.
+2 speed turns a lot of threats
Especially
on.
with how many resources are left.
Yeah, in this situation, that means Cross in particular is incredibly safe. Alright, there you go. Crossing over 1 non-lethal. And taking center.
See, Jay looking at this card.
Looks like Cmeshai is getting ready to strike. Wants to be very confident in this before he throws it, though, since if he screws up here, he could just die.
Yeah, he could die right here if he's
Oh.
not careful enough.
Was that a reading? Or was that a...
No, he was spending force.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
it was-
Gage.
Okay,
Yeah, was considering grandstanding.
gotcha.
Looks like it's not elected to do grandstanding, though. To be honest, throw grandstanding every time you set the attack, right?
I mean, he's at 2 life. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. The only reason not to is Red Lightning.
Okay.
He has yet to commit to a course of action here, but he's playing with a lot of them.
He's thinking as usual. Yeah. So the thing is with CME, he likes to think a lot. So that's why his turns take forever most of the time.
I mean, that's fair. It's a... Well, it's the grand finals. He has the right to think if he wants to, at least for a while.
Especially since if he... Well, I guess it's less of an issue for him, because if he loses this one, it just does the bracket reset, but...
Yeah, he'd probably still
Yeah.
prefer not to lose, though.
Yeah, I mean, the bracket reset's very dangerous, especially since he will come in with less momentum.
Kind of his motivation right now. So if he loses this one, it's kind of a really deep punch in the gut for him, I would say.
Oh, we have a responding EX attack.
Oof.
Interesting. Well, it's worth an armor, regardless of what else happens.
Oh.
Loses the speed tie.
that's...
No, he outspeeds.
Oh, yes, you're right, because of the...
Yeah, sorry,
uh,
Jay loses the speed tie. Jay loses the speed tie.
We got...
Yeah.
Scandal
Yep,
spend,
Beheaded
absolutely
expenditure,
spend.
So that was 4 over 1 is 3. Yep, 9 minus 3 is 6. Yep, that all checks out.
Corner again? That's
Yep.
not that bad.
Yeah, range 4.
Mantis still hits.
Yeah, Jay looking out for ways he can close this game and not die.
Big comeback from where Cmeshai was in the beginning of the game, though.
Yep. He finally hit his high value cards in the mid game. Made good use of them to pick up his stride. Now the trick is for Jay to win with what he has left, or dump those resources and rebuild that hand.
Funnily enough, CME could just exceed any moment now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, if his hand doesn't serve him well, he might just dump it and get a new one.
Yep.
He's got 1 card in deck, so that would give him almost a completely unknown hand. Excuse me. Which could be valuable.
I think it really depends on who exceeds first in this sort of matchup, because people want power, so...
Yeah, at this point I don't think Jay needs to exceed. If he does, it's only for the reload. Because,
It would be strictly utility.
yeah, Cmeshai is at 2 life, so the power is of little importance. Cmeshai might want to exceed, though.
Yeah. Exceeding right now feels like a mistake for Jay, because it would make his hand like almost entirely known.
And he would have almost, like, no
Or at least
gauge
deducible.
as well.
Alright, so we have a CC4, drawing a total of 5. Gives him a full hand.
All right. Now he can do it. now he's allowed to exceed.
CME's probably
Well.
scared right now because he doesn't like full hands.
Yeah. Notably, Moriatti, he might be allowed to, but he can't. He only has 2 gauge left.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, so we're not going to see an exceed right now. Now, if he has the second Skies of Flame, and again, I've lost track of their cards long ago, but Skies of Flame's preemptive boost is extremely good at closing games. So that is a huge threat if any of them remain live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing any on Jay's side, but
I don't
I
think
also have a memory of a gold
Jay has any more sweeps left, I believe. But
The sweep is hilariously unsafe at this point, though. If I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken.
Looks like Cmeshai is considering striking. Pardon me, I think I bumped the microphone there.
Oh, asking if drawn mantis yet.
That's
oh, they both not drawn mantis. That's actually hilarious.
Ishai started the game with mantis because it got buried.
You're right.
there must be one in Unjay's discard. Otherwise, he wouldn't have
There
given that
could be
information.
one in his redrawn hand though.
Oh, we have a +3 speed. That's pretty good.
Ooh.
All right. Hand is known. No normals.
Both.
EX Mantis, Firefly, Downburst, and Bug Zapper.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's good hands.
It is. Plus
Yeah.
3 speed is always safe.
Asking to take another peek at the hand.
Yeah. Which Cmeshai just copied pasted it. So
Makes sense.
that works. Well, that +3 speed is pretty pressuring. And it's not going to be easy for Jay to answer.
There's a very big difference between plus 2 speed and plus 3 speed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 3 is a magic number in most stats and exceed. There's a lot of little finely engineered breakpoints.
Yep. Even though Remy doesn't really care about speed because she gets it all the time, but you know.
Alright, tech, that seems sensible.
Alright. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Completely deducible
Hand.
information.
Hand is known. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Also,
they're both holding
EX
EX Mantis strike.
They both have EX Mantis. This is hilarious.
Yep. Oh, Jay also has EX Skysoflame. He does not have 3 gauge, though.
Ooh.
Alright.
He might want to change cards with those. He probably
Or-
is.
The threat right now is preemptive EX Mantis.
EX Skies of Flame, have opponent EX Mantis in return, but haha, it was this wild swing. AKA
My
the worst
God.
possible play.
Yeah, no. Yeah, don't do that. Because, like, for one thing, if you play an EX attack here, then the opponent responds with Downburst. Because, like...
Well, if someone responds with EX Mantis, they would just use Focus, because Focus is the safest thing if it was J. But
Right, but I mean...
Skies of Flame,
yeah.
it's invalid, and it could be any one of 20 cards. It's impossible to tell. It's impossible to predict.
That said, Moriatti, that's also if Jay were to initiate, and right now it's Ishai's turn,
True.
which is pretty important.
knowing Ishay, he can see his hand, so that's beautiful knowledge to him.
Mhm. Yeah, both players' hands are completely known. Actually, move the camera so that they're both a little more visible. Honestly, I think we're just going to see +3 speed boosted again.
We could. That would be the safest play here.
Yeah. Although at that point, I think it invites a raw focus strike, since focus beats all the options in hand, from what I can tell.
Fair. Jay could also just boost Disguise of Flame and then EX Mantis. That's always safe too.
Right. Well, it won't be safe if Ishai boosts Whirlwind first,
Mm-hmm.
which is also, I think, a major strength of Whirlwinds.
The cross makes you not dead. That's kind of true.
It's funny that he mentions the cross, because if he initiates with an EX attack, then it's basically face-up Mantis Strike, which means that Jay plays Focus and Ishai dies.
Pretty much.
So, like, I don't think the cross is the thing that matters most.
Well, you have to take liability to what all your options are at this point.
That's fair. Yeah, if Ishai initiates with one card, then he's presenting a mix-up, and, like, cross only loses to downburst, and it doesn't lose in a way that's lethal, so it's fine.
Getting intense around here.
Oh yeah, it's real tight. We have CC or move.
No. Chain climb. Chain climb.
Chain climb. All right, deals 1 non-lethal, which actually does matter.
Does matter.
Seems like it's probably gonna kill him though. Oh no, never mind. Firefly Gunner is still in hands, so because of that,
Yeah.
preemptive Mantis is not just gonna win the game.
It's not justifiable in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think the play on Jay's side is simply to step back 1 space.
Would be the smart play in this scenario.
Yeah,
Though CME did just reshuffle, so we have to keep that in mind.
that's true. And every turn that passes gives him a better chance of drawing something that'll turn the game drastically.
Correct, and every time CME reshuffles, he always somehow gets lucky with things, so Jay might want to be careful with that.
Jay is pretty good luck on reshuffles as well, in my experience. Yeah, we have a running joke / rule where if you see the opponent's hand, they've got a normal in it, right?
Right.
And then they reshuffle and they draw 1 card. Well,
Okay.
every time they'll draw the second copy of that normal. So you can't reading it and assume that you can beat it unless you can beat the EX, because they're just going to draw the second copy.
Oh, I've had that happen to me so many times, and I
know,
hated
right?
myself for it.
Yep.
Well, that's a rule.
Exactly. You just got to assume. Assume the worst.
That's why I don't play Imogene, because I don't like wild swinging.
I love Imogene. But to each their own. To each their own.
Shout out to my TO at Uncle's.
Guys, us flame being discarded for something.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Oh, Jay's thinking now. That's something.
Sure, absolutely. While
Changing
certainly.
cards? Oh, retreating.
Wow.
Tax meta intensifies.
Mega Lavania intensifies.
I was gonna say, because like while Ishai definitely doesn't want to lose this for the bracket reset, Jay doesn't want to lose this for being out of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't also want to spend resources in this case because he has so much gauge. He has to use that gauge really resourcefully right now.
Mm-hmm.
The ultras help, but the ultras don't help as much as they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at range 8, the only threat from either player is Bug Zapper. We know that Ishai has 1. We don't know if Jay drew 1, but odds are obviously pretty low.
Even though he could wild swing and see what happens, but that's kind of stupid. But
What? He had his hand well... It's like setting aside whatever he just drew. There you go.
still have the EX Mantis. Jay could also be saving the cross to move in or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's
Iche-
transforming it?
Yep, gets rid of the EX Mantis. So he's in a good defensive position here, because if Jay wants to threaten something... Okay,
Oh,
so now they,
okay.
yeah, they both have transformed. Well, it is a
These are
very good
useless now.
transformation. Especially in a situation like this.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the flip.
We have a flip. Finally!
Okay, but that does mean both bug
Oh.
zappers are down.
The Firefly Gunner's in there too.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty important. Interesting.
Well, he has a refilled hand, so that's probably what he was after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet he's digging for Ride the Lightning in particular. Because Ride the Lightning gets a nice little power surge from the gauge expenditure thanks to Thunderbird's ability.
Correct.
We have parry.
Oh, parrying?
Parry's focus. Failure.
Ooh,
0256, downburst, skies aflame.
and sweep.
I said that one. 020256.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so it didn't get focus, which is one of the answers to Bug Zappy here. The other is block, which is available.
Interesting.
It's Ishai's turn. He probably is going to move forward, start presenting a threat. However, those no normals do present a liability. Jay
Well,
could
they're
draw.
both in corner right now, so they can't really use their UA ability either.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Ishai can because his ability is different now.
Yeah.
Because he can spend that gauge as force to move forward and build up power charge on his Ride the Lightning. The funny thing here is, if he moves forward to threaten his Ride the Lightning, he risks getting hit by Jay initiating with Ride the Lightning.
You would probably want to boost sweep here just in case. If it were me. Because of how many speed ties there are currently.
That's fair. Boosting sweep is a good preemptive measure to Jay coming in, and going out is probably too risky.
Mm-hmm.
So parry or boosting sweep are both pretty reasonable.
Or he might want to save the sweep in case CME does move in with, like, Ride the Lightning or something like that.
Well, if he boosts sweep, if he boosts sweep though, unless I've got Jay's hand completely wrong, can't he be reading assaulted into talent sweep for game?
If there's
no longer.
Wait, into talent sweep, not into talent sweep, no.
Well, because you could set the attack and spend force to move 1, advance 4.
You can only do that once. Talent sweep is a range 1 attack.
I thought talent sweep had before. Did I misread talent sweep?
Don't worry.
Oh, it's on hit.
Everyone
it's on
does.
hit.
Everyone misreads that card.
It's on hit.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So he just boosted cross to move in. That's probably reasonable.